So for step 30, front dampers 2, well, this is where we need to fill the cylinders with the oil. So we need to pull this all the way down, fill it with the oil, and then we're going to have to move the piston up and down slowly just to remove all of the air bubbles. And then we'll end up putting our oil seal on and then our top cap. And that'll be it for step 30. So that's all we need for parts, and we just need to grab the oil. So let's do it. So if we grab one of our cylinders here, you can see that this has to be pulled all the way down to the bottom. So now we're going to fill this with the oil. And we're going to fill this all the way to the top. There we go. And you can see there's air bubbles down there. So we're just going to slowly push this up and down. Notice that the air bubbles are coming to the top. So we're going to push all of that air out. Now I might even fill this just a touch more so that when I've pushed this cylinder, the piston rod up to the top, new air isn't getting into there. But it looks like that's about right. But you can see that there's like if I push this all the way up to the top, you can see there's fine air bubbles in there. So through moving this up and down slowly, you're actually removing all of the air inside of there. There we go. So now you can see that they want you to put on the oil seal. Now what's going to happen here is as soon as I put that on top, you'll notice that the oil is going to run down the side. So we need to be able to catch that and stop the runoff. Just like that. And then what we can do is we grab our Q2 piece and we're going to fill or attach this and spin all the way to the end. Make it nice and tight. And there we go. So you'll notice by doing that, it's kind of caused a bit more of like a pressurized chamber. Now, based on what Joe versus RC was saying, this could stop some of the bounce in the back end. So we'll see how this works. But there you go. There is how that shock is going to work. So I'm just going to do the other one off camera. You've seen one, you get the idea, and then we'll just quickly come back and take a look. So there are both of our front shocks, and you can see the sort of like gas chamber kind of idea, which should give it some nice dampening. So both these front ones are done. So 29 is, or step 30 is finished. So we're going to move on to step 31, and now we're going to do front dampers 3 and put the springs on. So for step 31, front dampers 3, you can see here that we need to put the spring on, we need to put V5 on, and we have to put one of these on. Now, they're talking about the fact that these spacers alter ground clearance. Well, I'm going to go for V6 so that we get a middle of the road, and we'll see how that works. If I don't like it, we can always change this out. So there are the springs. And again, you got to just make sure you grab the right ones, because the rear ones are much longer and they're silver. The front ones are these black ones, which are kind of interesting that they're a different color altogether. Anyways, we'll set this up and let's put it together. So if we grab one of our shocks, if we're going to do middle of the road, let's put one of these on now. So let's use this one right here. Put that on there. Going to grab a spring, put that on the top, and then we're going to grab our V5 piece. It's got to slide over that way. That is facing down. Put that over top, and there you go. There is one of the shocks complete. Now, it's interesting because this feels very loose. I'm sure once it's all attached, it's fine, but that's weird to see the spring have so much play inside of there. Very interesting. There must be a reason, but at this point I don't know what that is. So that's one done. So again, we're going to use this one, pop that over top. That's the middle of the road. We've got our spring, and we can slide this over top of there. And there we go. So there are our two front oil-filled dampers. They feel really nice. Just seems weird that there's so much play in there. I guess we'll see as they, once we've installed them on the car. Cool. So that is step 31. So now we're going to move on to step 32, and let's attach those front dampers. So for step 32, attaching the front dampers, well, this is where we're going to attach these with this screw. It goes into a gold pipe in between or on the shock itself, and then a flange nut, and they're showing you using liquid thread lock. Now I'm not going to do that. I'm going back to how I am, being a bit finicky with this, only because if I decide I want to make some changes, I don't want this all locked in and then you're kind of stuck. So I won't be doing that. If I find this loosens up, well then maybe I'll have to do it down the line, but I first want to see how this shock performs and whether I want to make any adjustments on it before I lock everything in. Now the other interesting thing is it looks like they're showing you where it will go, but they're not actually having you attach it in this step. We're only attaching the top. So there are the screws we need, the flange nuts and the pipe. So I'll set this up and we'll put this together. So let's grab the car, and you can see that the way this is going, let's grab one of these, and they're showing that this will fit into here, and this is supposed to sit on the top. So we'll grab our screw, we'll put the gold pipe inside the top, slide the gold pipe in between, grab our screw, fit that through, and then we have our flange nut on the other side. Now I believe I'm just going to be able to screw this down. Yep, nice and firm. And that's down inside there just to make sure that it's all going to fit. But it looks pretty good. So again, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's grab our shock. We've got our pipe. It's got to go inside of there. Fit that down there. Our screw is going to go in there. It's going to go inside the pipe. Come on. There we go. Inside the pipe. And on the other side, we've got our flange nut. And we should be able to screw this in from this side. That one didn't go in quite so level. So let's grab the box wrench and back it off a bit here. There we go. And you don't actually need the box wrench for this because you can feel it tightening up as you turn it in. Well, maybe you do. I didn't have to on the other side, but there we go. That's nice and tight. Let's just do a check on this side in case. Nope, that one was actually already pretty tight. So there we go. There are the front oil-filled shocks in place. Very, very cool. And we won't be doing the bottom until a later step. So that means step 32 is complete. So we're going to move on to step 33, and we're going to attach the front bumper, but you can see it's also here where we're going to finish off installing the shocks.